Hello, it's Jake Dodd here with number 3 in my individual project series. Not done much since we left off. I thought I'd show the process. So we've got these little shell segments, but as you can see they're all named things like polysurface with various numbers after them. And that's because basically they weren't named when they were extracted. So I'm just going to go through and name all these as shell segment 01. In fact, shell segment top 01, because we have a top and a bottom. Hit enter. And I'm going to go through and name all the rest of these, okay? Okay, now that they're all named, I'm just going to hit F to zoom out. And that is called, just rename the base here to something in line with these. I think we called it insect base before. So just rename that, because it's been renamed after the extrusions that we've done on here. Which brings me on to, down here, you want to rename this extrusion just to help you realise which piece in the history it is, because there's a lot there. We can do edit delete by type history, but you'll see it gets rid of the whole thing. So yes, so basically we're going to have to rename this extrusion something a bit more friendly. Just call it shell growth. Then, as you can see in here, what we're going to do is find basically anything that's different from its default value. So 1 here, it should be. So, as an example, if I just bring back the time slider, which is in display UI elements time slider, set it down to 1, go to 25 at the top here. So set it down to 1, get our shell growth, come down here to local. In fact, we set it to the end first, and we'll go and key selected. And for these as well, key selected. You see we've got a keyframe here on 25. We'll come down to here. Just select them both, set them down to 0, it's the defaults. You see it disappeared there, and just to make sure it all goes properly, set that to 1 as well for the scale. And we're going to key selected, and for these two, key selected again. Now if I zoom in, get a better view there, to about here. You have that there. And what should happen, see, it shrinks in. Basically, that's the growth effect that I'm going for the spines. So it comes out the, I don't know what you call it, the skin, the body. And for each of these, I'm thinking of doing them in like a canon style, so front, second, third, fourth, going off sort of one after the other. So I just want to rename that. looks like I was wrong before with the renaming it. Let's just go with the name conventions that we got for these then, so call it O2. And then for the front one, call this one O1. Okay, and it's just the same process for each of these, just keyframing the values, so get a longer time slider. Let's do 2 frames because 1 frame after the other it'll hardly be noticeable. So come down to there, 3 plus 24 would be 27. And we'll just set these again. So, key selected, and down here we haven't got anything on local scale, so we don't even need to key that. So come back down to 3 and 0 them out. That was meant to be 1. Okay, and key selected again. And now you should start seeing the first section come out and then the second section. And names have disappeared for some reason now. Okay, so just refreshing Maya a bit so that it's not going to be messing up on the project. Just save that file out just then as shell growth. Okay, I've got my outliner there. Let's just close that for now. Okay, and hopefully we can see like the shell start to grow. If I change the colour on this, it'll be a lot easier to see. Lambert, where are you? There we go. And the default colour to just make it red. Be obvious then. Okay. So it starts to grow, comes out. It's exactly what we want. Just same for this, existing material, Lambert, June. So slightly before, slightly after. Hold it down there. I'm just going to keep doing the same as we have been doing for these. So shell, grow. That's who I'm typing. Shell growth, O3. Okay, I'm going to go through and do that for all of the translates that are different and all the scales that are different. And I'm giving it a 2-frame gap between each one so it'll grow in the sequence. Okay, so I'm coming to the end of my shell growths now. I've recolored them so they're easier to see. And I'm not quite happy with the timings. I mean, it gives a nice growth effect, like a pulse. But I want to spread them out a bit more, so I'm just going to select them all like this. Then just Control and deselect all these base ones. Okay, I think that's just I'm selecting now. And I'm going to go to my Windows, Animation Editors, Graph Editor, and hit F to frame the whole lot. Now I have all these different values, and basically I don't like them so close together. So what we're going to do is edit scale. There we go. And we're going to just basically double the time. So time scale pivot 1, so we want it to start scaling from 1. And then scale the time twice, and the pivot should be 1 because that's our first keyframe, and scale keys. And there should be twice as spaced out, and just to check it, I'll set my frame size to 100. There we go. It's the same effect, but it's a bit slower, so I'm happy with that. Just close that down then. So just give it a quick play. And you'll notice at the start here that they're actually sticking out to begin with. That's because when we were creating the shell, we did a few tweaks by hand. So we did a few things like scaling and moving and all sorts. So what we should do is go into here. In fact, initially it'll be a lot easier to just come down to here and use the same technique that we used for extruding them. So we'll come down to here, and in this poly chip off, which is the duplicate face process that we did, we've got this local translate Z, and what we can do is, see that? So just undo that, get it back to its basics. And each of these chip offs is part of these. You'll see at the base here, it's only got the chip off and chip off 2. Oops, we've missed one of these. So this last one here has only got this, the chip off and the separate face and the extrude. So for this, we just need to 0.6 keyframe that, and we may as well rename that while we're here. Let's call it shell or initial shell offset, and that'll be 12. Just check what we've named the others. Shell segment top. Okay, and same process for this. Double click, shell, growth, 12, isn't it? Okay. And bring that up to. Okay, so rename this, and basically we want to match the settings that we have for this here. So end frame 93, so initial shell offset, keyframe that, great, so deselected, yes. And then come down to here, don't know why I have that there, delete that keyframe, and see why this starts. So growth is 45, down to the shell offset, and we're just going to put that so it's below the surface, so even quite a while below. It's not really going to matter, because until you start going into quite extreme numbers, it's not going to be noticeable. So minus 0.2 or 0.5, let's say. Okay, and then you'll see when you get to here, it's a bit better. So where are we at? 93 down to 89, because the gap's 4 now that we've doubled the space to 2. You see it renames this, so that's great. So we want to call that initial shell offset 11. Okay, so on to the final one now. So initial shell, offset 01. And now into local Z, it's a bit low, just make that. So there we go. Key selected, and then down to 1. Let's make it just so we can't see it anymore. So minus 0.1. No, I still see it. 2. In fact, is that the same one that we can see? That's not, is it? So minus 0.1 should be fine. Come back to this one here, which is looks like it's missed the keyframe. Yeah, I just forgot to keyframe this, I think. So minus 0.1. Still see a little bit on the bottom corner here. So 1, 5. Yeah, that's good. So key selected, and now you'll see it's a much better effect when we go through it. So it actually comes from within the skin instead of randomly being jutted out on top. You do the first one starting though instead, so it's just trial and error, basically matching these. So it should already be way out by that. Okay, so now that we have these settings all sorted out, let's just give it a quick blast again. There we go, looking great. Can add the regular material back into that now. Just select this, Alt and H so we can hide everything. Control and S to save. Yeah, that's when it pops up. Yeah, okay. That's about it really for this part. We'll do a similar thing to the bottom, but it's exactly the same principle, just working on the extrusion. So renaming all this poly extrude face to something along the lines of shell growth bottom, and numbering them throughout. Animating the translate Z so it grows out, and then that's about it really. So just leave this looping. Okay, thanks for watching. See you in the next episode.